Hello everyone, welcome back to Quality Food Safety 101. This is Arsalan and today we are making another video about Salmonella. In the previous video, you saw a case study about Salmonella food poisoning outbreak, and today we will discuss in detail about an infographic which is made from Highfield. This is a training and compliance company in UAE as well as in UK, which makes great training material. So this is the infographic from their side about Salmonella species, and we will discuss about this infographic and all the details about the Salmonella species. Here I would like to give credit to Highfield and a special thank you to Mr. Richard who gave access to this great infographic, and today we will discuss about this. Let's start. So today we will discuss about Salmonella species. These bacteria cause infection called as Salmonellosis. This is different from typhoid or paratyphoid fever caused by Salmonella typhi or paratyphi respectively. Why these are different? Because these two bacteria which I named Salmonella typhi and Salmonella paratyphi are little different with regards to their antigens and with regards to their infection causing abilities. They are much more dangerous as compared to Salmonella species which cause Salmonellosis. So today our focus is on Salmonella species. This group of bacteria has more than 2500 serotypes. Serotypes are groups within a single species of microorganisms such as bacteria or viruses which share distinct surface structures like same arrangement of antigens, same types and same number of surface antigens. So basically these are kind of a fingerprinting mechanisms amongst the microorganisms. As we all are human beings, but we all have different fingerprints. Same way, different salmonellas have different antigens on their body, and they are called as serotype. So one cluster of antigens will be present on one type of serotype of Salmonella. So you can for example say Salmonella enteritidis has one class of antigens and Salmonella typhimurium has a different class of antigens. So there are more than 2500 serotypes of Salmonella. So Salmonella are gram negative microorganisms. So it means that during gram staining they will give a pink or red color. They are rod shaped bacteria called as bacilli, and they are facultative anaerobes, which means that they can grow with or without oxygen. Although they will prefer to grow more with oxygen, but even without oxygen or with less quantity of oxygen they can still grow. So they are not dependent on oxygen availability. Under the microscope they will look like this. As you can see, they are rod shaped bacteria having a lot of flagella for their movement, these long tentacles which are they are called as flagella, and they have a lot of cilia which are small tentacles which are there for adherence or sticking to a surface. So under the electron microscope you can see it's very clear image of a Salmonella. The other characteristics of Salmonella which are important for infection is that they can survive in dry foods and soil for long time, for months even. In vulnerable group they can cause very severe infections. These vulnerable groups are the adults which are old age above the age of 65, or young children which are below the age of 5. Immunocompromised people who are already having some kind of a disease, which are battling with the disease and their immune system is weak, or malnutrition people also can be immunocompromised, and also pregnant women. So these are vulnerable group where the Salmonella infection can be very severe. The main symptoms of Salmonella infection are abdominal pain, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea and headache. They look pretty non-serious symptoms which are common for almost all food poisoning, but in case of vulnerable group, if they get this infection and it results into dehydration, it can cause a lot of complications. The onset period of Salmonella is usually 12 to 36 hours, and the duration of the disease can be between 1 to 7 days. So just to describe, onset period is the time which it takes for the food poisoning symptoms to start after eating the food which was the food vehicle. So when there is a food which is already contaminated with Salmonella, if a person consumes it, it might take between 6 to 72 hours, or usually 12 to 36 hours for the infection to start or the symptoms to start. This is called as onset period. And the duration is basically the recovery time, that how much time does it take for a patient to recover from the food poisoning of Salmonella is around 1 to 7 days. The main characteristics with regards to the growth range are very important to control Salmonella actually. So the optimum growth temperature for Salmonella is between 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, and ironically the ideal body temperature for human beings is also 37 degrees Celsius. So our body temperature is very ideal for the growth of Salmonella. The pH is between 6 to 7. For the ideal growth, pH is between 6 to 7, and the amount of water or available water for Salmonella is 0.94. Now here are we with the sources, food vehicles and controls. The sources are the ones from where the actual story of the Salmonella journey starts. So which will basically, these are the things which start the journey or the route of the Salmonella within a food system. So it could be raw meat, milk, egg, etc. Vehicles or food vehicles are those items which are easy to get contaminated with Salmonella, or which have a history through which Salmonella infections have spread in the history basically to human beings. So it has been the history of raw eggs are there, beef, pork, poultry is there as well, and some low dose high fat items as well, which are chocolates or peanut butter as well, have a history of Salmonella infection spreading. And then there are a whole list of controls which are there. Now this is a very big informative slide. You can pause and read through it, but there is one very important thing which I want to highlight here. All these sources, food vehicles and controls have a correlation between them. So if we say our source is eggs, of course the food vehicle would be the raw egg products and raw eggs by themselves, and then the control would be to use pasteurized egg products, especially when we are not going to thoroughly cook them, and or also use temperature control for pool eggs. Now this is a correlation which you need to understand in the food industry to control Salmonella. So these kind of correlations, when you use with controlling of each source, food vehicle and their controls are relevantly applied together, then you have a high chance of controlling Salmonella. So we come towards the end of this video. Again, I would like to thank Highfield and Mr. Richard for sharing this infographic. We will continue making similar videos for other microorganisms as well. Today was about the Salmonella species. We will make a separate video for other microorganisms in coming weeks. Stay tuned for similar content. If you like the content, please subscribe to our channel, share the videos. This is very informative for anyone who is handling food or working in food industry, or who is a microbiologist as well. So like and subscribe to our channel, share the content, and you can also support us by becoming a super fan. See you in the next one.